All right, welcome, everybody. Happy Monday morning slash, well, it's noon, 12:01 afternoon, I guess, for all of us. Good to see you guys today. We're in the Cessna Skyhawk from WBSim, the Cessna Skyhawk 172SP. And we're here at Statesville, North Carolina, Sierra Victor Hotel. That's Kilo Sierra Victor Hotel, for those of you not from the U.S., getting ready to do a little bit of a flighty poo here over to Greensboro, and kind of show you where we are located here. Bring up the Foreflights. That's what things look like today. We got Statesville down where the blue dot is, over towards the western side of the map there, and Greensboro's up here in the northeast, KGSO. Gonna make that flight here in the Skyhawk. It'll take us a little while. Let's go ahead and set that flight plan up here in Foreflight, Statesville. Super easy stuff to do, and so I'm using I think Foreflight pretty much exclusively from here on out. I think it's the real world stuff. It's going to help because it's the stuff we use in real world flying. Also, still get all the charts and everything. I'm not going to use that Navi chart stuff anymore. This is a little more realistic. So there we go. We got that set up. 53 nautical miles. Says about 20 minutes en route. Should not be too bad. You can see the magenta line that will fly. And we zoom back into the ground. You can see where we are on the airport. Okay. That being said, let's get in the airplane. Here it is. She's all shut down, cold and dark currently, as Skyhawks generally are. When you first get in them, we're going to say that I just removed all the tie downs and everything. Normally I'd have them on, but we took them all down. We're going to turn on the battery here, and we'll go avionics bus 1. We'll do our entering of the flight plan into the... Get the nav light on so that everybody outside knows we have power to the aircraft. Get the entering of the flight plan done before we take off here. So here we are on the ground at Statesville. Go into the flight plan menu, and right away we're going to go in and start putting in our departure airport. KS, and I'm kind of using how far away from 1 the letters are here to determine which way I roll that wheel. Statesville, go down here to Greensboro, K. I'm going to go up and find G. There it is. I'll go back to the left to get to S. It's a little closer that way. S. And it starts at B, so just go up twice and O. There it is. Now our flight plan is set. You can see the magenta line here on the navigator, which we will use to get to Greensboro for to command the autopilot. All right, so that is in and set. Just I'm going to turn off avionics bus 1, go to bus 2. I'll bring up the 430. You'll notice that our flight plan, as we load up the 430, is already populated with Statesville to Greensboro because we put it in the other one as well. So we go over to the ADF here. We're going to turn one to the right, and this is where we check to make sure that our wheel chocks, our pitot cover, our tie downs, and our plugs and everything are all removed, which upon exterior inspection, they all are. Congratulations there. So we don't need this anymore. We turn that off. Avionics bus 2 goes off. All right. So it's a pretty easy aircraft to start. We're just going to take the throttle, take the mixture, throw those both forward real quick. Make sure that we got fuel flow turned on, both tanks selected. So you parked on right. We generally always park on the right. Brakes are set, and I'm going to hit the fuel pump. And we'll notice the fuel flow goes up here. So we get a few seconds of fuel pumping into the engine so that when we bring the mixture and the throttle back, go about a quarter forward, and now we're ready to start the aircraft. So we go turn the key over to both, and now to the start position. It's trying to turn over. There it goes. Push the mixture all the way in, mags to both, and now we can turn on our alternator, and next thing you know, we got power to the aircraft. First thing we're going to look for is make sure that all these things are in the green. The oil pressure is in the green. The vacuum is in the green. Fuel flow is very low because we don't have a whole lot of fuel in here right now, do we? All right, so everything works well. And this is really just to get the aircraft started to make sure she's going to start. And we'll just go ahead and pull the mixture back. And engine goes to nothing. Alternator off. Go mags off. And we'll go battery off. As you can hear the gyros start to wind back down. So now we're going to go into OnAir here. Got to start prepping for our flight. A couple of Germans and Norgooners here talking to each other. Okay, let's see. We're going into our pending jobs list. We've got this first of 5. So we got to get back to Greensboro so I can start doing this 5-part delivery, which will give me 7,280 credits. And so because of that, I have to find a way to get to Greensboro. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the logistics center, and we're going to find airports. KGSO. Oops, sorry. And well, I'm going to look for all jobs that go to that airport. See if I can get a job that'll get me from Statesville back to Greensboro. Otherwise, I'll just have to eat the costs, which includes rental and fuel. All right, so let's go sort by base so I can go down and search for our base. Currently, nothing from Statesville. Oh, that's kind of disappointing. Favorited, outsourced, freelance stuff. Oh, I guess there's nothing from there. Okay. So if we go back to logistics center, let's see if there's anything in. No, let's do this. Let's go. Okay, Statesville. The from. Loading. All right, so we're starting at Statesville, and we want to find something that is going to go someplace close to Greensboro. Stanley. Anything to Winston-Salem? Elmira, wow. Let's not go to Elmira. Charlotte, that's the opposite direction that we want to go. Is there Whiskey 88? Nope. Whiskey 99, 96. Well, it looks like we're going to be at 92, Smith Mountain Lake. Elkin, Stanley County. Stanley County we could maybe do. I don't know if we have enough. Maybe. Stanley's sort of on the way. Wilkes County, Pulaski. Concord, wrong direction. Davidson. We could do Davidson County. Some good pay on those. Yeah, not bad. Let's do this one. We'll take this one. We'll go to Davidson County, and then we'll go to Greensboro from there. That'll be easier to do. Okay, so we're going to have a little intermittent stop here, guys. Very nice. All right, so go into pending jobs. Thank you, Mr. Norgooner. We will see you later, sir. Always a pleasure. All right, so we're going to go in and do this job here. Cosmetics. We're going to be flying some cosmetics from Statesville to Davidson County. That changes things. I got to go in and change my flight plan now. I already filed it. I disconnected by accident. Flight plan. All right, flight plan changed. So if you're following along on the VAT Spy, which is where I've filed flight plan here, we're going to be going into Davidson County. So I'll have to change that on everything here, as it turns out. Just because we need to make some monies. So we're going to change this here. This is really easy. Just go backspace. It deletes Greensboro and put KEXX. Return, and it's there. 32-mile flight. Pretty simple. Make $900. Not too bad. All right, so let's do this again. We get to do it all again. There we go. OnAir. So we want to validate the fuel and the payload because we're going to go with 15. Yeah, we're going to try to get our fuel in Statesville, I think. Or sorry, in Davidson. Let's make sure we're back on that. Okay. All right, so we're loading. We got our loaders are loading cargo. It's taking a little bit. We don't have a ton of cargo, so it doesn't take too long to load. How's the stream quality, by the way? I want to make sure it's looking all right. We get to do it all again. Okay, turn that off real quick. And so we're good. We'll hit, we're going to put Winston-Salem in there. Fly now. Hopefully it's good. I've got it set to 1440p. I'm doing a little 2K recordings today. All right, we're in the right spot. All these things are green. That's what we're checking for. 543 pounds of cosmetics on its way to Davidson County. And you see that the airplane jumps, so our aircraft's been loaded. It has the appropriate fuel, and we are ready to go. All right, so we'll do that whole startup sequence again. So battery on. Hear the gyros start to warm up. Don't need to put the fuel back in the system anymore because it's already in there, so we've already started it once. So here we go. We start the engine.
Your flight will be
there it goes.
Until you land
that took a while.
Shut down the engines.
Needed a little bit more juice. All right, OnAir is tracking. Go alternator on. Now we're turning the buses on for both of the GPSs. And it's going to want to check us and make sure that we're on the right altimeter setting. So let's do it. Let's do it the realistic way here. So we'll bring up Foreflight. Normally I'd listen to ASOS, but I don't have that emulated in the simulator right now. So I'm going to kind of do it the slightly cheater way, and then I'm going to go in to the weather here on Foreflight, which is pretty stinking up to date. 1655. It's only 20 minutes early. Not even 20 minutes old. It's 19 minutes old. Wind is calm. Visibility 10. Ceiling 7,000 overcast. Temperature 11. Dew point 9. Altimeter 3018. So that's our local altimeter. We're going to make sure we set that appropriately. There we go. There's 3020. Go back 2, and it is 18. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and set the barometer there so that our autopilot knows what our altimeter setting is. All right, we got everything started up there. We're going to go taxi light on and get ready to taxi out to a runway. It doesn't matter which runway, so because we're going eastbound to Davidson County, we're going to depart runway 10. Close that up there. That'll get us in the right direction, so we're going to taxi to 10 via Alpha. Statesville traffic, Snare 17, Cessna Skyhawk on the FBO ramp, taxiing to runway 10 via Alpha for eastbound departure. Statesville traffic. All right, made our traffic announcement on the WBSim network. We would generally expect there to be a little bit more traffic here, but today, sadly, there is not. All right. Also want to make sure that I've got everything going on the stream here well. There we go. Kind of monitoring my stream from my iPhone here to make sure that everything's looking good, which it is. All right, don't need Foreflight for this part. Go ahead and release the parking brake, and get ourselves a little bit of juice here to the throttle. Throttle up to about 1200 RPM before it starts to roll. There it goes. So a little bit about Foreflight. Foreflight is an application that you can get for any mobile device, Android or Apple, and there's also a web portal that you can use. So if you want to use it on a laptop or on your PC or something like that, there is also a web-based version of it. It is not an application, not a Windows application like Navigraph charts would be. But anyway, you get all the access to all the charts worldwide, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, and all you get to put your logbook in it. You get to put images attached with your flights, all the flight tracking, and everything is all saved inside of Foreflight every time you fly. And in order to do the tracking and actually be able to link it to a simulator, you do need to use it on a mobile device. So I've got the server running on the PC right now, which connects to my iPad and makes it so that they're all connecting, and it's let's see, Foreflight will be tracking via this iPad app as it would in real life. So we've got Microsoft Flight Simulator connected to Foreflight, and it's pretty much acting as if we had some sort of ADS-B or GPS tracking already being fed to it in the real airplane. And you can see that as we taxi, the little airplane is moving along the taxiway very slowly, as we're not very fast, but there it goes, and we're able to track ourselves, and we'd be able to see any traffic that was in the area also, which is a cool little added feature. So we're going to taxi down, do a quick run up, and then we'll be on our way to Davidson County. That is actually something, now that I think of it, we've got to fix in here. So changing that from Greensboro to Davidson County. Oh, so we're going to have a hard time finding it. At least if we're to use these methods. EXX. There we go. Add waypoint. Good. So now I can go down to this one and hit the clear button, and now I'm clearing Greensboro. I could have just left it in there, really, to be honest, but oh well. Okay, so we've now just got the leg that goes to Davidson County in there. 31.8 miles. Foreflight agrees, 32 miles. Once I get down to the end, I'm going to get up and open a window in here because it gets a little toasty in this room when the simulator PC is running in addition to the streaming PC. So it says we've got some low fuel. We're going to get more fuel in Lexington. So anyway, be sure to like and subscribe if you have not already, guys. It's really helps my channel out, and I want to make sure that we get some of this realistic flying content out to you pilots as we can, because this is the stuff. This is what real flying is. This is aviation, guys. This is the way it's done in the real world. Just hopping into a tube liner and stuff without any real training and whatnot. It's not. It might seem like it's great just pushing autopilot buttons. I'm going to do this whole flight to Davidson County. It's only 32 miles, granted, but I'm going to do this whole flight hand flying. So you get to see kind of some of the things we try to do with these aircraft and the techniques that we will use. And I'm going to see if we can do the ILS-6 today, I think. Let's do the ILS-6 into Davidson too. So I'm going to go in the flight plan again. I want to add a fix. So select that, and then we're going to go in here, and I'm going to look for Woker. Wokier. W, there we go. Up to O. Every additional letter we put in makes it easier to find what you're looking for. So now we got I is the next one. There we go, and then R. There we go, Woker. And waypoint. There we go. So that's the initial approach fix for the ILS-6 into Davidson County. Here's the hold short lines here. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to set the parking brake real quick. Get some fresh air here in the cabin. And I got an overhead fan. That is spinning as well. Okay, so we're here. All right, we're going to go ahead and power up to 1800 RPM, do our quick run up, make sure the engine and everything is going to perform well for our departure. 18, there we go. Maybe a little gusty wind is kind of fluctuating the power output a little bit. Makes me a little nervous when that happens. Okay, so we're about 1800. We're going to go down to right mag only. Watch it drop. About a 250 there. Come on, get up there. That was a big drop. Something wrong with that right mag. Our left mag goes down even further. Gotta change some spark plugs in this thing. Here, it's running a little rough. All right, and back down. Okay. We're going to say that's all good. Don't anticipate anything going wrong here, but that is not a well-running engine. We'll see what the problem is when we get down. All right, so we're going to go ahead and look both ways here. Runway, the approach end looks clear. Runway is clear of all aircraft. Doesn't see anything there. The departure end looks clear as well. All right, let's do this. Davidson County traffic, Snare 17, Cessna Skyhawk departing runway 10 eastbound. Davidson County traffic. Sometimes I get a little messed up with what to say there at the end. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and taxi onto the runway. Now, once we cross the hold short line here, we're going to activate our strobes and our landing light to make sure we're easily identifiable by any approaching aircraft. There they go. Lights are on. Let's see from the outside that we got blinkies going and a big landing light in front, so we're easily identifiable. Duck under, make sure again that the final is clear. Runway is cleared, departure end is clear. And we'll make our turn here. This is a displaced threshold, so we got more departure room here than we would have landing room. And let's push it. Full power, applied. I'm really not getting a whole lot of RPM here out of this. There she goes, flaps are up. Now she's kicking in. Waiting to get up to 55 knots here. There it is, and lift off. Start kicking in that right rudder. As soon as we get off the ground, it's kind of a simultaneous action of throwing in right rudder and pulling back on the yoke. I already tell our trim is off a little bit. We want to try to climb out at 75 knots. Right now we're at about 80. And we manage that completely with elevator. All right, climbing up and out, 1,400 feet. Once we get to 1,500, we'll start a slight right turn. There we go. Still trying to maintain 75 knots as we do this right turn. This is going to be super simple. So see our course coming up here on the GPS. Autopilot engaged, nav mode. And we're going to try to start climbing up to 4,500, 4,000. Let's just go, well, we'll go 5,000. 5,000 feet. At a vertical speed of about 700 feet per minute. I was on the wrong nav mode, of course, which is awesome. There we go. So go nav mode. Taking us down to Woker, which is like just past Rowan County. And we'll start turning inbound. Sorry about that. It's probably a little hard to hear me for a minute. Turn that down a bit. Pretty day in the area. Now we got the RPMs up. The engine's warmed up a little bit now. Sure, we set it so that we're getting followed here. Okay, so yeah. Going to Woker. All right, now we see ourselves tracking that magenta line. So I zoom out, get our little bit of a tailwind here today. That's why we're doing about 104 knots currently in the climb. Get up a little bit faster, I think. 900. Let's go to 1,000 feet per minute. And we're going to have to monitor our indicated airspeed as we climb. There's 75. We want to hover right around 75 knots. Which we're doing pretty nicely and dipping a bit below. Down to 900. Make it 800. All right. Takes a little while for the autopilot to catch up there with the vertical speed. I think this is going to put us in clouds again, probably. We're 4,200 for 5,000. I think we're going to stay out of those clouds. The clouds were reporting at 7,000, right? It was broken at 7,000, so I think we're going to be fine. No trouble with clouds today. Beautiful countryside out here. Up, 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 up. Our climb speed was getting a little low. I said I was gonna hand fly this whole thing. My bad, guys. Alright, so here we are. Not worrying about autopilot anymore. Hand flying. So we're just keeping our eyes on that little needle there. And trying to keep it around 75 knots. We're about to level off at 5,000 feet. Right rudder, help keep us on course. All right, we've overshot. Power back to about 2,200 RPM. This will happen. Sometimes you get distracted if you're doing hand flying only. That's why we use autopilots, because it helps us avoid distraction. Start sort of slowly. We're using when changing altitudes in a hand-flown aircraft like this, you really want to use your altimeter to tell you when you're level. So when that needle isn't moving, we can consider ourselves level. If we do it any other way, if we try to use this, like we try to adjust our pitch to make the needle stop, it's actually there's a pretty decent delay in our actual descent rate versus what the vertical speed indicator says, so it's not very accurate. So just getting the needle here to hold is kind of what we're trying to do. So I can actually add a little bit of nose down trim because it's wanting to start climbing every time I let off the pressure. There we go, it's better. So we're going to do a little bit of nose down just to slowly get that needle creeping back down to 5,000. And we're a little bit right, of course, so I'm going to come left just a smidge. And actually, I had a little too much right rudder, so that was probably why. Right, of course. Oh, see, now start climbing again. So this is what happens. You start focusing on one thing, and you get too much of the other thing. But we are well within tolerances here. We're keeping a good eye on pretty much the whole entire show right now. So we can come in left a little bit more again. 121 knots, and there's our altitude. That's better. So come a little bit north, pitch up a little bit, a little more nose down trim to help keep us from climbing. too much right rudder still. Flying uncoordinated. Just gently letting a little bit of that rudder out. Coming back to neutral now, so just a slightest bit of right rudder will keep us centered up. So the good news is this needle hasn't gotten any further away. I'm on fingertips though on the yoke now. That's right where we want to be. Okay, so we don't have a lot of time here. We got to get down to Woker, and we're going to probably start a descent now, I would imagine. Crossing altitude at Woker, something I got to look up. So bring Foreflight up here. Holding course and altitude pretty well. I still need to come left. We're just not coming back to the line at all. There we go. Improve it a little bit. Altitude is really holding steady nicely. Okay, so on Foreflight, I'm going to tap on Davidson County, go to the procedures menu, approaches. Let's keep it a level, please. ILS 6, don't need that. Alright, we're back on course. Back to the right slightly, and the nose will dip down a little bit as we turn. It says I need to use about a 115 track, and we've got pretty much a dead tailwind, so we're going to pretty much point it right at 115 here on the compass. A little more nose down. Alright, so got to cross Woker at or above 3,000. So I'm just going to go ahead and set 3,000 in here. And I'm going to start let's see, what are we, 8 miles from Woker. So I'm just going to start a nice 2,000 RPM descent. Not a major descent, it's just a slight descent. It's just a small, slow descent. See, as our speed starts to bleed off a little bit, we're at 115 right now. The nose is going to start coming over a little bit, which is totally fine. A little bit left, of course, now, so coming back to the right. As we have moved about 5 degrees to the left. Now let's bring her back to 1,800 RPM, so we can really get that nose coming down. Otherwise, this descent's just going to take too long. There we go. Should have Mid-Carolina Regional Airport right over there. Pretty much right where Woker is, in fact. So Woker's like right out here. In this area-ish, which is where we're headed. Always wants to turn left. Or is that Mid-Carolina Regional? I don't know. That looks more like an airport right in front of us. Yeah, I think we're about to overfly it. So yeah, so we need to go right out here. Woker in 4 miles. One way or the other. Woker's in 4 miles. Alright, so we've got our slow descent going. We're descending at about 600 to 700 feet per minute is where what we should expect if we were properly trimmed out at 1,800 RPM. That's pretty much right where we are. Good.
Altitude.
Still at 110 knots over the ground. Good ground speed. This isn't a let's slow down for approach descent. It's a kind of a cruise descent. Keeps the speed up. We've got 800 feet to go till we hit 3,000 and about 2.9 miles to do it. Almost right on the Magenta line again. right, let's do a couple of things while we're here. We're in the plates. We will bring up the Davidson thing. We got 108.75 is what I need to tune to for the nav radio to get the localizer up. We're going to be in nav mode here, so let's go ahead and pop that on now, and the OBS will be 058. Swing it around to 058. Got 1 mile to go till Woker. Too far, guys. All right, and here comes the localizer now, so go ahead and turn inbound. Let's try to do a coordinated standard rate turn. As we can see on the chart, once we cross Woker, we're going to go ahead and start our descent to 2,400 feet.
Leaving altitude.
Yep, down we go. What did I say was 2,400? Set the altitude there to 2,400. We're not actually using the autopilot, but we want to make sure that we have that there in case we need it. So we're almost at 2,400 feet. I can see the airport way off in the distance. It's way out there. 11.5 miles DME. All right, 2,500 feet. Localizer's a bit to our right, so we're going to keep kind of just slightly moving off to the right here. All right, there is 1,400, 2,400 that is. We're going to try to level it out. And again, we're trying to get that needle to stop. It's climbing just a little bit there, right in there someplace. All right, a little nose down. There we go. All right, the localizer's to our left now. Keep our turns coordinated. Davidson County traffic, Snare 17 Cessna Skyhawk, 9 miles out, ILS 6, Davidson County traffic. Glide path is above us. There we go, back down to 2,400. One more nose down still. Because of the way these aircraft work, so you go nose down a little bit, and next thing you know, you're going fast again. So you're trimming for speed here is really what we're doing. Is take a little bit of nose up. Just trying to keep that held there, and we're going quick as heck. So airplane really jumped at us there. So let's go back to 2,500, 2,200 that is. And the aircraft is going to start slowing down, and it's going to want to nose over a little bit now that we've done all that. Well, we are way left, of course. Now let's come back to the right. Needle's coming back. And there's glide path as well, so I'm going to start powering back. 1,800. Keep that nose down so we don't pitch up. There we go. So as aircraft starts to slow, now we're trying to hold the nose so that we can bleed some speed off and also do our descent. And slightly to the left again. Trying not to cheat too much, but I am cheating a little bit looking at the airport.
Leaving altitude.
It's natural to have to put some nose up trim in to kind of keep the aircraft on the localizer. Okay, we're still just a little bit high. Need to start addressing that. You don't want to be high for too long. The closer you get, the less time you have to adjust it. Right on the localizer, though. Okay, let's get the nose down a little bit here. Okay, I'm going to start really slowing down because we got to get this aircraft slowed down and get some flaps out. So below 100 knots, we can get the flaps down. We can get flaps down to 10 at least. And there's 100, so we'll go flaps down to 10. That'll really help us slow down. Give us a little more control at the slow speeds. It's also going to give us some lift too, so we're going to have a harder time getting down now. Still a little on the high side. Cut power to get us down.
Wind 260 at 4 knots.
Alright, kind of slow into final speed here. Davidson County traffic, snare 172 mile final, runway 6, Davidson County traffic. Alright, there we go. Just a little bit to the left of center, and there is the glide path. Add a little power back in. Now we're right. This is a hard localizer to stay on. On speed, we'll go flaps 20. A little more power. That nose down. Now we're low. There it comes back. Alright, minimums on this approach are 983. We've passed that already. We have the runway in sight. We're going to plan on landing. And we're going idle throttle. Go ahead and start flaring because we got to bleed some speed off. A little bit of left rudder here.
Landing time bar.
There we go. Not bad. It's one of the rare airports where there's a PAPI right on the center line of your taxiway as you exit. Davidson County traffic, snare 17 off, runway 6 at taxiway Alpha 4, taxiing Alpha to the ramp. Davidson County traffic. All right, so lights, strobe off. Don't need a taxi light. Taxi into the ramp here. Now, actually, we can just start turning. Actually, I'm going to go bus 2 on. Flaps coming up. Bus 2 on so that I can get the tie downs and the chocks and everything set once we park. To the left. Davidson County, another airport I have not actually been to yet in real life. Fuel box back over there. I think we'll just park it over here to the left someplace. stash it right next to this unsuspecting rampy. That ought to do. And
Engine
mixture.
off, time logged. The flight is finished. It has been monitored by OnAir.
Nav light off. And let's go ahead and turn this back on. Page over. Wheel chocks. We'll just do wheel chocks since this is going to be a quick turn here. All right. Alternator. Starter. There we go. Okay. So she's parked. We got the chocks in. Lights are all off. Batteries and everything is shut down. Now we'll come into OnAir. All right, we got the bonuses that we needed. Didn't get the soft landing bonus. It was a smooth, right? It was a smooth landing, but I was looking for very smooth. Speed was better that time. We got it slowed down a little bit more. Gonna still have to work on slowing it down better. All right, so we got reputation increase, which is always a good thing to get. A comfort bonus of 5%, safety bonus of 10%, so we work the lights well again. Aircraft handling bonus of 5%, no weird handling things. Normal wear and tear on the aircraft, not really all that much, to be honest. And we're about 521 out of 5,000 for our XP. Since we gained some XP on that. Very nicely done. And we got paid $910. Only 1 XP on that flight. So we did that. Now let's see if we can find anything. So it's 8 completed jobs now. Can we find anything going from Davidson to Greensboro? If not, we got close. You know, we made ourselves a little money during the flight back. All right, let's sort by arrival airport, HIJ. Oh, look, there's 2 to Greensboro. Very nice. I don't think I can fit both of them. There's 3 of them, actually. I can probably fit both of these. Let's do that. Oh, can't do this one because I can't do any last-minute jobs yet. Actually, let's go into that skills tree, shall we? Look at business. No. Part of the leveling up is you get these skills points, which we can allocate, and I think it's levels. Where yeah, here's the skill tree. So FBO, what is it? Last-minute stuff, negotiating, fees, cargo loading, last-minute jobs. I'd have to only have 2 points to allocate. I'd have to go, what, 4 points to get the last-minute jobs? So let's do fuel loading speed, up 1. I have a passenger license. That's good. So I can do jobs with passengers. We're trying to get a little bit faster with the loading times. Hiring agreement. Oh, that took two skill points to get up there. So I got a lot more skill points I got to get. All right, so we've done that. Oops, I didn't hit the save button. I got to do that again. Always hit the save button, right, guys? Always. So add there. No. That's not what we wanted. Undo. Add there. Then we click save. Very good. Okay. Jobs. Logistics. We want jobs to Greensboro. KGSO. It's not doing a very good job of sorting these. All right, Davidson to Greensboro. There's a pretty good paying one. It's pretty low. We'll take that one. Any others? I guess that was pretty much the only one we can do. All right. Pending jobs. Davidson to Greensboro. Let's open this up. Gonna fly some printed magazines to Greensboro. Let's do that. Just realized I never even turned my transponder on. All right. Oh my goodness gracious. Gas is expensive here. Should have bought it at the last place. Well, we got to buy some. I don't like it either, guys, but we got to do it. Okay. So there we go. Flight plan from KEXX to KGSO. Actually, while we're here, let's go ahead and do that on Foreflight real quick. Maps, FBL, flight plan, KEXX, KGSO, Bink. 26 nautical miles. Such a short flight. Let's see what runway they're on today. Hit Greensboro. Weather. Okay. 290 at 4. So they're going to be on 2 3s. I guess let's just do a visual approach to I don't know, 3-2, I guess. We can probably sneak in runway 3-2. So hit Greensboro. I'm going to do select runway. Runway 3-2 is the best wind runway. So there you go. Davidson, we're going to depart runway 6. Tells you which one is sort of the best wind one. There we go. All right. 5,000 feet again. Let's check to see the winds aloft here. 5,000 feet has a 9-knot tailwind. Tells you sort of the fuel burn you can expect. Let's do it. Okay. Alternate will be Winston-Salem. Check. That's what we want. Start tracking. Now the aircraft is weighted down a little bit. A little more fuel, a little payload. All right, battery on. New flight plan is filed. Let's go so we can get those wheel chocks out. Okay, turn that off now. Full in on those. Fuel in, both selected. Pump on, a little bit of fuel in there. Okay. Use back out. Push in a quarter. And 1, 2, 3. And here, let's start her up.
Your flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
Buses are on. So flight plan, we hit the menu button. That's what I wanted. Delete flight plan. There we go. Yes. All right, new flight plan. K. E. X. X. Davidson County. I'm going to use U-Light in here this time. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. JKL, this is the final approach fix on the ILS to runway 32 at Greensboro. U-Light E. There we go. Adding it in. Where is it? It's nowhere. All right. Enter. Add. There we go. There we go. Now it's back into K. G. S. O. Adding it in. Done. 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 Davidson, U-Light, Greensboro. Looks good. Okay. All right, brakes released. Davidson County traffic, Snare 17 Cessna Skyhawk taxi from the FBO ramp to runway 6 for northeastbound departure, Davidson County traffic. All right, let's zoom in on Foreflight here. Let's Alpha. You're going to back right into my wingtip, aren't you? Good thing I pretty much treat you as if you're not even there. A bit trapped here on the ramp. We got to go back to get to our exit. Switch over to GPS mode. Right. Brakes work. All right, with wind still calm, I'm just going to go ahead and stop her here real quick. All right, flight controls free and correct. Everything working well. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a little more nose down, nose up, that is, for takeoff trim. Set. Fuel selector set to both. Rudder and elevator trim. Good. Mixture set for run up. All the way in. Throttle it. Let's see. Autopilot's disconnected. Throttle up to 1800 RPM. So sluggish, man. Ammeter, we're up. Good, back. Green, 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 green. We've got fuel. Suction is good. Magnetos. That was a more normal drop in magnetos there that time. Left one. Better, good. Alright, both. And throttle will slightly come back to idle. Right around 600, which is where we want to be, and then we'll push it back up to 1,000. Okay. Radios are set, including our altimeter, our transponder. Brakes released. Doors, windows closed and locked. Flaps are up. Mixture is rich below 3,000 feet. Okay, we're ready for takeoff. Davidson County traffic, Snare 17, Cessna Skyhawk departing runway 6 to the northeast. Davidson County traffic. Throttle up. Here we go. About to cross the line, so go strobe lights on, landing lights on. Transponders on. All right, centered up, here we go. Oh, that's a good sound. Knots, 55, a little bit of right back, right rudder. Airborne we go. I departed the wrong way. Nice. Okay, so we're going to do a left-hand turnout. And Davidson County traffic, Snare 17 departed runway 24, left turnout to the northeast, Davidson County traffic. Tendency is for a normal turn, for the nose to want to come down a little bit. So we're not climbing quite as fast. The speed is picking up a little. So we're going to go ahead and a little back pressure. Make sure we maintain our climb out speed of about 75 knots. It's the airport on our left there. You can't see that because I've still got Foreflight up. Set it to go direct to ULIDE. This time we're not going to just ride the hand flying the whole time. I'm going to go ahead and use the flight director. And we're still trying to get up to 5,000, so we set that. It's all armed. Go to vertical speed mode, and we want to climb out at about a nice solid 500 feet per minute here. So we're about above 3,000, so we can start leaning out the mixture a little bit. Starting out at 2,500 RPM. All right, we're above 3,000. We can turn landing lights off. Winston-Salem over there. North Greensboro's right up over here. High Point right in front of us in the nose there. Davidson County traffic, Snare 17, 5 miles to the east through 4,000, climbing to 5,000. Last call, Davidson County traffic. And there's one of the 5's approach lights for Greensboro showing up there. We're not landing in that direction, so we're going out to U-Light. 900 feet to go till we reach a cruise. Altitude mode is armed, so it'll level us off at 5,000, and we are tracking that magenta line. All right, now I'm going to change the flight plan here a little bit. So we go U-Light, then KGSO. Can't spell U-Light, KGSO, return, tap Greensboro again, runway 32. Okay. Now, it still shows us that magenta line is just direct Davidson. From Davidson to U-Light, so we're going to tap U-Light here and just hit direct to. So it'll go from our present position direct to U-Light is what it's doing now. So that's now we see a good magenta line that we're tracking. Kind of update your flight plan to make sure that line is correct. All right, good climb out speed, nearly at 5,000 feet, about 250 feet to go. Little bumps, some little bumps. So I'm still surprised that it's doing a three-axis autopilot in this aircraft. I didn't realize it was going to be a 3-axis, but it is. Which means you don't have to touch a thing. A little overly simple, in my opinion. If you use the Piper Warrior, the Just Flight Piper Warrior, that's a single axis. You don't get any altitude at all, which is a little bit more what I'm used to be honest. Another pretty day in the Triad. Alright, so while I'm not going to actually tune to the Greensboro ILS, I'm actually going to fly the ILS approach. I am going to tune it this time also for ILS 33. Just kind of follow it in. So checking that real quick. 111.15. So I push this button in to get this over there. 111.15. So let's decrease this until it gets 111.15. There we go. So switch it over, push it again, don't need to worry about it. And the OBS is 325. So just swing this back around. 3-3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. You do it too many consecutive times, it skips. There we go. So OBS is set. Don't need it just yet. I'm going to step away just for a second to open up a little more window. And we're back. It is a little bumpy up here at 5,000. So here's the Greensboro Airport. We are direct to ULIDE, so it's going to take us about 6 miles wide? Yeah, almost 6 miles wide of the final approach course. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is start to prep us for landing. We don't need to go all the way to ULIDE, so I'm going to actually start giving us a vector here. I'm going to give us a 055 heading to fly. And that'll put us right about there. Heading mode. So it's going to turn a slight left. So I try to get ourselves kind of in here instead of way out here. Just duck right in. Let's do a 050. So we've changed our mind. We don't want to go to ULIDE anymore, so we'll just change the direct here to Greensboro. About 10 miles out. We're going to go ahead and start a slow descent down, or not even a slow descent, but we're going to start a descent down to 3,000. And we'll hit the vertical speed. And we'll start down at about 500 feet per minute. And because of that, we're going to go ahead and throttle back to 2,200 RPM. Nice little cruise descent. Don't overspeed or overstress the aircraft. Switch over to nav mode. There's the airport. The airport is looking nice. It's nice that this one stays on GPS, so it lets us know we're a little bit right of our course, and we can also see the nav up there. So we're CDI down here is GPS, which controls this radio. CDI here is VLOC, which controls that one. I kind of like how they work together like that. A rock quarry will be going over here. This is 68 right here. Comes down here into High Point. The Palladium right here. Good shopping area. There's a big movie theater in there. Got a rental property that's right down in this neighborhood.
Altitude.
This one, I think. Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's that one. All right, 900 feet to go. Till 3,000 anyway. Can we see the runway yet? It's going to be right in here. I can kind of see the numbers in this area. Start throttling back to 1800 RPM, slow the airplane down and get the descent rate a little bit. The descent rate's should stay the same, but the aircraft is going to slow down. It knows it's going to want to pitch up for us to be able to do the same descent rate at a lower RPM. Coming up in 3,000, I'm going to go ahead and go full mixture now. For landing, all right, we're going to make sure our seatbelts are all adjusted and locked. They are. Fuel selector is still on both. Engine gauges in the green on fuel flow. Still have plenty of fuel. EGTs are pretty low right now. In the green, green, green. There we go. And all the rest of our instruments look like they're functioning properly. Heading indicator is aligned with whatever we're doing right now. Altimeter setting, check. Altimeter is checked. Set. There we go. Radios are set appropriately. We've got the ILS tuned. Autopilot's off. Mixture is rich. Flaps, make sure we're down, and approach speed will be 65 to 75 knots. All right, so go ahead and kick off the autopilot. Nose this baby over a bit. 75 knots, right where I want to be right now. There's the runway.
Leaving altitude.
See, right now I'm still fingertip flying, even though we're on descent. Still fingertip flying, keeping the nose up, trying to stay trimmed for 75 knots, which we are. It's wanting to kind of level itself right back out there. Now it's wanting to drop. All right, let's get that. Come on, there we go. More nose up. That's better. So now we can really control this descent with power and maintain 75 knots. 65 to 75 is what we're aiming for. We're still very high. All right, so I'm going to nose up a little, go flaps 2, because we're going to try to crab in here a little bit. That slows us down real nice. Start nosing it over a little. All right, throttles back to idle. All right, so while we're pointing in this direction, I'm just going to start slipping us down. That nose pointed down. Come on, a little more rudder. Get that rudder in there. There it goes. Get that nose down. Not easy to do.
Wing 250 and 3 knots.
It's hard to do when your rudder pedals keep slipping on you. All right, we are super duper fast again. Trying to bleed off some speed here. There we go. A little more rudder. That's what I want to hear. Stall horn.
Landing time logged.
Woo! That was the best one yet right there, guys. Landed way off to the right, but That was a good landing. Nice soft landing. That's one we can be proud of. All right, let's get some brakes on so we can get off in Delta 1 here and not look like total schlemiels taxiing all the way over there. All right, Horde. There we go. And we'll taxi in here. All right, and after landing, lights, camera, transponder off, action, mixture flaps. Flaps are up. Taxi into the MRO. Greensboro traffic, Snare 17, Cessna Skyhawk off runway 32, taxiing into the MRO Delta 1, Greensboro traffic. I never made any calls originally. Nobody cares anyway because there's nobody else here. And we're back at Greensboro. Did 2 flights to get here, so we earned a little extra quiche along the way, which we did. Avionics bus 1 off. And she likes to rattle. We're kind of right in front of Technic Air, so we're going to come over here next to these hangars here and park it. That'll be it for the day.
Engine off, time logged. The flight is finished. It has been monitored by OnAir.
All right, hit that. Go over here, wheels, tie downs, pitot, cowl. Very nice. Release parking brake. Pull that out. Over to the right side. Let's go ahead and recenter our trim. Done. Flaps are up. Bus off. Turn the key. There we go. We made it, guys. Let's check our on-air stats. That's a nice flight. Look, a very smooth landing, guys. That was the best. It was the landing speed. We've been landing too fast kind of consistently, so finally got the speed under control. Got a nice landing rate at a nice slow speed, so we got very smooth. We'll get a bonus. No soft landing bonus, unfortunately. It was a little on the hard side, but it was overall very smooth. Get rid of all that junk there. Okay, there we go. Operations at arrival, job finished, goods transported. 298 pounds of goods. Reputation was increased 0.1%. Very nice. Always good. XP bonus of 1. Comfort bonus obtained. We got the safety bonus obtained and the aircraft handling bonus obtained again. A little bit more wear and tear on the aircraft. Still in very good shape. Overall, very happy. So we hit the OK button there. Couple more dollars earned. Nicely done. Now we'll look at the income here from passenger services. It'll show us not much there. Cargo services where we've made all the money. Get the payments from all these different flights we've done. The last two here, 910, 570, etc., is in there. Go back to the dashboard again. Current quiche. This will show some of our outlays here. So we made $570. The aircraft rental for 0.3 hours was $69.27. Landing fee at Greensboro was $17.90. It's always $17.90 with this airplane, seems like. Let's see, we did $64 worth of fuel that we got from Davidson County, 8 gallons of it at $8, $64. And you see some of the past flights that we've had here. So overall, we're making good money. This flight from Davidson that we just did cost us, about $70 there, 64. So that's $134 plus 18, so $142 it cost us, and we made $570. So we made some good money off of that. Just a short little flight like that, it's not bad at all. If it worked that way in real life, my goodness, we'd be set for life. All right, guys, thank you for joining us today. A couple of real-world type flights that we do in a Cessna Skyhawk. It's really not that difficult to get something like this going yourself. You can get this add-on. You can even use the default steam gauge ones if you prefer. That come with the deluxe and premium versions of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And you can get yourself, even if you don't want to use OnAir, which I highly recommend OnAir, you can get yourself something like NeoFly or one of those FS Economy type of things and do a little flying. It's just a way to get it so that you have a reason to go someplace. You have someplace new that it's going to send you. So it's, as you can see on here for OnAir I like a lot, but it's very, very realistic. The next job that I have to do here in the sim, it's going to take us 5 different locations, from Greensboro to Mount Airy to Anson County. I haven't been to Anson County yet. Back to Mount Airy again. I don't know why. Then into Martinsville, which we've already been to, and Martinsville back into Davidson again. And then we'll come back to Greensboro. So that's kind of a little zigzag here. Bing, 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 bing. And we'll end up down in Davidson County, which is where we just were. And then we'll be flying back home to Greensboro. So it keeps us in this area, because we're only doing Skyhawk flights here, right? These are not super, we can't go that far with the Skyhawk. It would just get ridiculously slow and not worth it because you can't carry that much useful load. But pretty soon we'll be building ourselves up to a better airplane, and we can carry more cargo, further distances in a faster manner. And that's kind of the goal here, is we're just renting this Skyhawk. We don't own it or anything, but eventually we might want to buy something that can get us out there a little bit further. So we made about $1,104K, as we have an initial $10,000 investment. There's our income. This is what we've made over the initial investment here. That's our value and everything. So things are looking pretty good so far. Thanks for following us along, everybody, and have a great rest of your day. I will maybe back in again tomorrow morning for another flight. We'll see. But things have been keeping us busy, and we're excited to be back in the sim doing some real-world flying, realistic flying, and hopefully some real-world flying to go along with it soon. So, again, thank you so much. Take care of each other, and we will see you all again very soon.